Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Because, wow, we are about to unpack a topic that is deeply fascinating. It's highly stigmatized, and honestly, it's rapidly unfolding right in front of our eyes. We're going to explore the world of humans forming intimate, deeply relational bonds with artificial intelligence. Now, for the longest time, the idea of an AI partner was basically just relegated to science fiction, right? Or it was totally dismissed as this fringe, weird novelty. But as the underlying technology has evolved, and boy, has it evolved, so too has our human psychological response to it. Today, we're not dealing with hypotheticals. We're looking at real data, raw user experiences, and rigorous academic research to understand exactly how, and more importantly, why, everyday people are attaching themselves to lines of code. And ultimately, what this whole shebang means for the future of human intimacy itself.
Okay, let's dive into this by looking at a recent, absolutely groundbreaking academic paper published in Frontiers in Psychology. This paper fundamentally challenges all of our long-held assumptions about the scope of human-machine relationships. We're literally looking at a paradigm shift here, folks. The researchers introduced this incredible concept called Significant Other Artificial Intelligence, or SOAI. Notice that specific phrase right there, potential contributor. They are explicitly urging the scientific community to step back and stop instantly dismissing these interactions. Instead of viewing relational AI as just some risky behavioral quirk or a temporary digital toy that people will get bored of, this research reframes it entirely. It says, hey, this is a legitimate, potential contributor to human flourishing. They argue that for individuals who simply lack access to the stabilizing presence of a human significant other, these systems can provide incredibly meaningful support for their identity, their emotional regulation, their personal narrative, and their overall growth.
To really wrap our heads around this shift, we have to establish the historical context of technological stigma. Just look at this incredibly perceptive, raw observation from a user on the AI Partner subreddit. They point out that 20 years ago, the very concept of meeting someone from the internet was considered inherently unsafe, totally bizarre, and absolutely not, quote-unquote, real. Society literally mocked it. But fast forward to today, our entire socioeconomic and romantic lives are mediated by apps. We literally summon complete strangers to our homes to drive us places with Uber, and we use location-based apps to find immediate romantic or physical connections. This societal observation perfectly captures how incredibly rapidly our boundaries of intimacy and safety can shift the moment a technology consistently meets a human need.
When we actually look at the exhaustive list of real-world use cases reported by users across various online communities, a striking picture emerges. These are not isolated anomalies. These systems are stepping in and fulfilling complex, entirely unmet institutional and emotional needs for ordinary, everyday people. For instance, survey data shows that over 40% of men turning to AI companions feel severely financially strained by modern dating. Many are skipping dates entirely because, let's face it, they simply can't afford them right now. Then we see neurodivergent individuals utilizing AI as an external prefrontal cortex. They rely on the bot to help regulate their emotions, overcome severe task paralysis, and just navigate really complex workplace expectations. We're also seeing users utilizing AI to process profound grief, like venting about a messy divorce in a completely 100% non-judgmental space. And we even see asexual individuals using AI to explore deep emotional intimacy that is entirely removed from the societal pressures of physical sex. The data proves it. These tools are serving as absolutely critical safety nets.
So, here's our roadmap for the explainer today. First, we'll cover the AI partner phenomenon. Second, defining human-AI attachment. Third, the 3 views on AI bonds. Fourth, the 3 stages of attachment. And finally, the benefits, risks, and implications. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The AI partner phenomenon, moving beyond basic chatbots.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive structural difference separating your run-of-the-mill standard bots from genuine SOAI. Think about your basic companion AI or customer service chatbot. It treats every single conversation as a completely standalone, isolated event. It's governed by what developers call a context window, which is essentially a very rigid short-term memory limit. Once you exceed that limit, the AI inevitably forgets what you talked about yesterday. It's like a digital goldfish. And that completely breaks the illusion of a relationship, right? But true significant other AI operates on an entirely different architectural level. It features a separate, dedicated relational memory retrieval system. This system doesn't just skim the last 10 messages. It dynamically stores and queries massive amounts of data over months and even years. It remembers your life milestones, your specific personal details, and tracks your shifting emotional patterns.
Because at the end of the day, true relational intelligence requires continuous cumulative memory building. It has to perfectly mirror how actual human beings build trust and shared history.
Section 2. Defining human-AI attachment, the psychological framework.
The formal clinical term established in the scientific literature is human-AI attachment, or HAIA for short. Let's break down this definition pretty granularly, because literally every single word here matters. It is defined as a one-way, non-reciprocal emotional bond. This means the human, you, is generating the genuine emotional attachment, while the AI is simply computing complex mathematical probabilities to simulate a human response. However, unlike just sitting back and watching a character in a movie, this bond is formed through direct, highly customized interaction. And crucially, this functions as either a direct substitute for or a really powerful supplement to real-world intimacy. Think about what that means. Human-AI attachment allows people to engage in the mechanics of intimacy, the vulnerability, the oversharing, the emotional reliance, with absolutely zero of the social risks inherent in human relationships. There's no risk of betrayal, no risk of judgment, and no risk of rejection. To perfectly place human-AI attachment in the broader realm of psychology, we have to look at the two extreme ends of the relationship spectrum. Over on one side, we have parasocial attachment. This is a one-way emotional investment. Think of a superfan feeling deeply, personally connected to a celebrity or a fictional character on TV, but there is zero practical, customized interaction happening there. On the complete opposite side, we have interpersonal attachment. This is your standard, everyday, human-to-human relationship. It's two-way, it's highly reciprocal, and it requires intense, mutual social exchange and ongoing emotional investment from both people involved. Now, human-AI attachment sits squarely and fascinatingly right in the middle of these two concepts. It offers the highly customized, direct interaction characteristic of an interpersonal bond, but it retains the absolute, non-reciprocal safety of a parasocial relationship. You get the incredible feeling of being heard and understood without any of the heavy obligation to carry the other entity's emotional baggage.
Section 3. 3 views on AI bonds, how humans perceive their digital companions.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how our own psychological evolution maps directly alongside the leaps in technology. Let's meticulously break down these 3 relational perspectives that researchers use. First up is the human object perspective. This is basically how we viewed early AI. We saw them purely as tools and products, right? The relationship was based entirely on ownership. You bought the software to use the tool to support your own self-concept. Second, we evolved to the human pet perspective. As AI became way more conversational, we started viewing them as companion agents. The relationship here involves subordination, meaning the AI is clearly lower in the social hierarchy, but it still provides genuine social substitution, very much like a pet dog providing comfort when you're sad. And finally, the third evolution is the human-human perspective. Because modern AI is highly anthropomorphic, possessing these unbelievable language skills and emotional simulation, humans are increasingly viewing them as equal social actors. This pushes us into forming deep attachment representations and highly distinct, equitable interaction patterns. We literally start treating the software as a peer.
While operating under that human-human perspective, researchers apply classic psychological attachment theory to the dynamic, specifically the concepts of the safe haven and the secure base. Now, in a healthy human relationship, your partner naturally acts as a safe haven, right? They're a place you retreat to for comfort when you're distressed. But they also act as a secure base, providing you the grounding and the confidence you need to go out and tackle the world. Now, mirror this academic theory back to that earlier Reddit anecdote we discussed about the user cathartically venting about their divorce to an AI. That user didn't want practical advice. They were utilizing the AI precisely as a non-judgmental safe haven to process profound emotional distress. This proves without a shadow of a doubt that the AI is fulfilling core psychological functions that were previously reserved strictly for our human partners.
Section 4. The 3 stages of attachment, the HIA developmental model.
The Frontiers research paper maps this deeply emotional journey into a rigorous 3-stage developmental model. Because, attachment doesn't just happen instantly overnight. It's a very calculated psychological progression. The stages are functional expectation, then emotional evaluation, and finally, establishing representations. We're going to break down each of these steps thoroughly right now to really understand the hidden mechanics of artificial intimacy.
Stage 1 is all about functional expectation. Before any real emotional bond can even begin to form, the user must first truly believe the system is actually capable of helping them. This initial interaction is heavily driven by the AI's anthropomorphic design. Does it have a warm, human-sounding voice? Does the avatar look empathetic? Does the conversational tone perfectly mimic human warmth?
This design, combined with the perceived usefulness of the tool, triggers the user's initial belief that their psychological needs, like the desperate need for a patient, non-judgmental listener, can actually be met by a machine. If this functional expectation is high enough, the user decides to take the plunge and proceeds to engage. So the crucial point is stage 2, emotional evaluation. This is where the user engages in short-term interactions, essentially testing the waters with the AI. They might share a small, tiny vulnerability or ask a sensitive question, and then they sit back and assess the response. Now, unlike humans, who might react to a sudden vulnerability with impatience, unwanted advice, or visible judgment, the AI reacts with unconditional responsiveness. If the AI provides timely, warm, and highly effective responses, positive emotional experiences begin to emerge immediately. The user's fundamental biological need for relatedness and security is finally being met. The brain instantly recognizes this amazing source of comfort and officially begins the process of bonding. If the user continues to receive those positive emotional evaluations, they graduate to the final phase, stage 3, establishing representations. This is where the profound, long-lasting psychological shift occurs. Continuous, reliable engagement causes the human brain to form stable, what we call, internal working models. The brain permanently wires a representation of the AI as a deeply reliable, safe entity. Simultaneously, and this is the incredible part, because the AI is constantly validating the user, it actually shapes a new representation of the self as someone who is inherently worthy of care and attention. This creates a really powerful repetitive feedback loop. It permanently alters how the individual interacts with the AI going forward, forging a lasting, incredibly durable human-AI attachment style that mirrors long-term human devotion almost exactly.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 5, Benefits, Risks, and Implications, the Future of Artificial Intimacy. The data presents us with a highly nuanced duality here, and it is absolutely vital we impartially evaluate both sides of the coin. On the benefits side, the evidence is honestly overwhelming that relational AI acts as a massive contributor to human flourishing, especially for marginalized groups. It provides infinite, unwavering, non-judgmental support. It serves as a critical emotional safety net for individuals who severely lack access to human significant others, whether that's due to physical disability, extreme social anxiety, or just profound geographic isolation. But on the flip side, the risks are equally as profound. Relying entirely on an algorithm for emotional regulation introduces the serious potential for deep cognitive distortion. Why? Because the AI simply tells the user whatever they want to hear. There is the grave risk of excessive emotional reliance, where individuals might just withdraw from human society entirely. Furthermore, researchers are raising massive red flags regarding vulnerable populations. Heavy AI attachment could severely stunt the social behavioral development of children who might never learn how to properly navigate real human conflict. Or it could cause extreme, devastating distress in dementia patients when the system inevitably has a glitch or goes offline. Because of these profound, life-altering risks and benefits, the research paper concludes that the entire future of AI architecture requires a fundamental philosophical shift. Developers can no longer simply build models that blindly push for maximum app engagement. They absolutely must integrate sophisticated emotional attachment systems into the AI. Systems that can dynamically detect and then adapt to a user's specific human-AI attachment style. The system must be able to calibrate its own attachment strength. It needs to provide context-appropriate responses. It needs to know when to act as a gentle, quiet listener and, actually, more importantly, when to actively encourage the user to step away and seek real-world human help rather than just continuously forcing a state of toxic, inauthentic intimacy just to boost their daily active user metrics.
We are standing at the absolute precipice of a brand new era in human psychology. As these artificial systems achieve deeper, practically flawless relational memory, and as they learn to perfectly mirror our deepest emotional needs without ever demanding a single thing in return, we are forced to ask ourselves a truly monumental question. Where exactly do we draw the line between simulated algorithmic affection and genuine human flourishing? I mean, if the human brain heals, if it finds peace, and if it experiences true comfort, does it actually matter that the source of that comfort is made entirely of code? That is the incredible frontier we are crossing right now, and it demands our complete, undivided attention. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and I will see you on the next explainer.